let's go over how to create a new repository in GitHub and then how to clone that downstream to your local machine. So you always want to start with a new repository in GitHub as opposed to trying to add files or folders from the repository on your machine. You can do it that way, but it's actually a lot easier to just make a blank repository and copy the files over. So we start in GitHub, and it'll take you to your normal landing page, which is usually your personal repository. We want to do this under the mids info W18 team. So we don't actually have to switch there. This will let us see what's going on in the team, but we want to specify that when we actually create the repository. And so the naming convention we're using is just first name, last name, and then repo in caps. And this way we'll know who's who when we get to grading these. And you want to make this a private repository so that your work isn't on the web, and we're not wondering why everybody has the same answers. And then we create the repository, and it'll take us to this landing page. So here we can copy the URL for this repository. And we'll start by cloning it in the shell window. So we're in a trash window, so let's navigate to the right place where we want this. Okay, so I'm going to clone this repository in the demos folder that I have here. So the way that I do that is just by doing git clone and then pasting the repository name. And it gives us a warning that we've cloned an empty repository, but we expected that because we just created it. Now, if we want to copy some files over, we see our repository right here. And I'm just going to copy this week 1 folder, which has a file in it already. Now, I've put in some new files, so Git isn't necessarily tracking this. So I want to start by adding them to what it's tracking. And here I am doing this in the wrong folder. So I need to make sure that I am in a repository, otherwise Git won't know what I'm trying to do with it. So try this again, git add dot. The dot just tells it to add everything that it finds in that folder. And no error message this time. And then if I want to push this upstream, first I have to commit it to the tracking. Commit. And then if I want to add the message here, I can add it like so. Or if I don't add this -m option with the message right after it, it will take me to a VI screen where I need to put in my message. And here, to start typing, you want to press I to go into insert mode. And whenever you see a hashtag, that's a comment, so that'll be ignored. So at the top of the file, I'll just put my git commit. And then to save this and exit out of this, I press escape to get out of insert mode. And then semicolon WQ. And that basically means write and quit. So W for save this information and then exit out of here. And now the last thing I need to do, since this is already committed, is I want to push it up to the github.com. So to do that, it's just git push -u for upstream, and then origin master. Origin being my local version and master being the GitHub upstream, the github.com location. and it should be done writing. So if I go to this page and reload it, I'll find the folder and the file that I just pushed upstream. Now, let's say you wanted to do this in the app instead of the terminal. First thing you have to do there is add the repository. When I add the repository, it'll show up here in my list, which it wasn't there before. So I'm just going to pick another random folder, maybe both, and copy them over, except this time I'm going to do that through the desktop app. So to do that, you can see it doesn't recognize that yet. That's just a little thing with the app. You typically have to just switch to another repository and then go back, kind of to refresh it. And so my commit comment will be, let's say, my second commit to master. And then I go up to the repository menu and push. And here we'll see a spinning wheel until it's done. And now if we go back here, we'll see that it has pushed these other folders up here as well.